Hi ladies, it's Alison from Scarlet Mooncrafts, and this is the first video in the Memories in My Pocket workshop. Thanks so much for joining me this weekend. First, I'm going to apologise for my voice. I'm super sick, so I'm just trying to get through this the best that I can. First thing we're going to be doing, as the title of the video suggests, is making our own journal cards, because you can't do pocket pages without journal cards. So I'm just going through the examples of some of the journal cards here and the pages that I have included in your kit. You got one with a 6x4 and 6 2x2s. You got one with two 3x4s and the 6 2x2s, and then you got one with 12 2x2s. There's also some new ones in the catalogue that just launched on Thursday, which are full 6x8 sheets, and I think there's ones with two 6x4s. So now I'm just showing you the basic sizes we'll be using today. There's 6x4, 3x4 and 2x2, and I've just cut out some cardstock templates. You can make these yourself and draw around them, but I've just kind of cut them to show you and also to remind myself, because I have got a terrible memory. So I'm just kind of showing you what you can do. That's just like a photo mat that I've made, and that is a journal card from a previous workshop run by Michelle. So that is a pop of pink one, and we're going to get started with ours. So the first thing you're going to need to do is just choose a piece of your DSP or cardstock, and you're also going to need some white cardstock for this one. This is my favourite one to make. I make these all the time because all it takes is like one colour of card and some white. So I'm just kind of going through. I've decided to go with the kind of purple colour and the night navy with the foil on it, just for a little accent. After me saying you only need one, I have to use two, but you do really only need one. I've just added blue in for a little bit of extra. So I'm just cutting down the first DSP to 4 inches tall by 3 inches wide, which is the size of a standard Project Life or journaling card. And then I am struggling to cut a little strip. Nope, I'm cutting my white cardstock first. That is slightly smaller, so I've cut it at 3.5 tall by 2.5 tall. So that gives you like a 1/4 inch around about it when you layer it on your fancy paper. So I'm just recutting mine there because I did it a little bit too big. We all make mistakes, don't judge me. There we go. And now I am cutting the little strips. So I tried to do it with this one first, but to be honest, I can't find my big paper trimmer, and this little guillotine scares me because I have a phobia about cutting off my fingers. So I decided not to mess with that little skinny piece and just chop a bit off of my larger scrap. So I'm just doing about a 1/2 inch, I believe, 3/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch strip. And that's just going to be a little embellishment. And then I also cut a piece off of the foiled cardstock, which is one of my favourite papers. I can't believe it's been discontinued. It is, I just eyeballed that one, but it's probably about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just clearing my mess. That is my little scrap bucket. If you've ever done one of my workshops before, you know not to throw anything away. Everything you cut off, chuck it in a box or a bucket or a basket, and you are going to use it at the end of the workshop to kill your kit. So I'm going in with my corner rounder. Again, if you've ever done one of my workshops or watched any of my videos on YouTube, you know that I hate a square corner. So if you don't have a punch, you can draw around a penny or a 5p, or you can just round it off with your scissors, or you can leave them square. It's just personal preference. For me, I like them to be rounded around everything. I have like 4 corner punches. So once you've done that, I'm just layering the white cardstock, Sarah Whisper white card, on top of the DSP, and you've got that little 1/4 inch border. Normally I would use tearaway tape or snail, but I'm reorganising my office just now and I cannot find any adhesive, so I'm using some stamping dimensionals. Just to stick it on there, but I'm quite happy with that actually because it gives it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just layering that up there and sticking it down. Now you could just leave it like that and journal on it, or even use it for a photo, but I am just going to embellish it a little bit. So first I'm going to take that strip of DSP. No, I'm just showing you my staples here. They're lovely pretty pink staples. But I'm just taking a little strip of the DSP and I'm making a little banner. Normally I'd use my triple banner punch, but this is too small for it. I thought I would do it by hand. And then I'm taking a little bit of the blue foil, making it longer, and just doing a little banner on it as well. So I'm just putting those together at a kind of off-centre angle and then stapling it with my pretty pink staple. I really love staples as a design feature as well as an attachment. I don't think they have to be hidden away, and I just recently got some nice blue and pink ones. So I'm going to be using those a lot. So once you've made your little banner, you can just stick it on wherever you would like. So I'm only sticking it at the end because it means if you decide to put a photo or anything on this, I'll probably use this for journaling, but if you did put a photo, you could tuck it under the banner and that would be pretty. So that is my favourite one to do. It's just white cardstock on DSP and then a little bit of an embellishment. Next up, we are going to work on a 6x4. One thing. Just because it's 6x4 doesn't mean to say it has to have a 6x4 fold. You could just cut the 6x4 card and use it as a photo mat and put your full big photo on there. Maybe add a little and then everything, all the papers that are in your kit are all from the same sheet, so they should all match. I've just gone for this green one and I'm cutting it about 3 inches across by 3.5 tall, slightly smaller, and then just getting a piece of Alyssa Light and cutting that maybe 2.5 across by 3.25 tall, slightly smaller than the green one, and I'm going in and just rounding the colours on one side and then realised I didn't use the back of a piece of foil card, so I'm having to just go in and cut that again, super quick. Chop. And another chop. Don't worry if you make mistakes like that. As you can see, I just grabbed a new piece of paper. It's only paper at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm just fitting those together, and as you can see, this white one is a little bit smaller. I've done that on purpose just to give it a little bit of interest, so it shows a little more of the patterned paper beneath it. And I am just lining that up using my mat. And then I'm just choosing one of the washi tapes. So I went for the kind of chocolate brown one. The washi tapes are the Moroccan themed ones that I really like. So just a strip of washi and join those two pieces together. Carefully peel it up, and then instead of trimming it off, what I do is just fold the washi over the back, because I think that makes it look a little neater on the edge and also it's more secure. And then I'm just lining that up there, and it's going to just get glued down. So I've gone in with my craft glue, which is really stinky, so I'm taking advantage of not being able to smell anything by using it, because I Usually I'm put off using it because it's so smelly. Just a little bit of glue all over the back. There we go. So that is just stuck down there now, and I am grabbing some enamel dots in the green colour. So I've put one of the larger ones and one of the smaller ones just to give it a little embellishment. So that's a kind of half and half journal card and photo mat. So as I said, you don't have to fill the 6x4 pockets with one 6x4 photo. So I would put like a photo on the green side and then a little bit of journaling or sentiment on the white bit. So it is a good way to get more out of your larger pockets. So I'm just propping it up to dry because that glue is still a little wet. And we will move on to our next journal card, which is going to be one of the little 2x2 ones. These are the ones that people seem to get a bit scared or confused by, because they just think they're so small. What are they going to do with them? So I am going to show you one way that I like to use them. Just pop in the corner rounder on that. So that's 2x2, and I'll just use the striped paper. And then I am grabbing a piece of my Whisper White scrap from my little scrap bucket and cutting a piece that is 1.5 by 1.5. And I'm going to round the corners up on that as well. And instead of centering it, I'm putting it at one corner. Just kind of off-centered it a bit. And it's just to give it a little bit of interest. And I'm grabbing one of the little tiny paper clips from the kit and popping those on there just to hold it together. And then I decided I would also use some little enamel dots just to decorate it a little bit. It's looking good. And one of the things that I like to use these little small journal cards for is just like dating the page or a sentiment. So I'm going to use this one as a date, and I'm going to show you how I do that in a second. The date would just go in there. I'm just grabbing my letter stickers so that I can do that for you. These are just some colourful numbers and letters that I had. I think I got them in locals. So because I'm using ScotCon photos, I've just done the ScotCon date, although I have got the wrong numbers there. I do remember in a minute. 21st of May is my wedding anniversary, so I got confused. But there we go, she's got it now. So 20th of May, I'm not doing them straight or anything because it's quite a bright and colourful little card. So it's kind of fun. So that is a pretty little way to date your cards. So you could also just put a sentiment there or a title. Or you can use little photos. We'll be doing that in one of the other challenges coming up soon. Going to be really good. So now we are going back in to do another 3x4 card, and it is another little technique that I like. It's quite similar to the first one. Remember how I said you could slip a photo underneath that banner? We're going to be doing something similar here, but this one is actually designed to do that. So I've cut the 3x4 and I'm just trimming off a little 1/2 inch strip And then we're also going to need a 2.5 by 3.5 piece of Whisper White. Trimming that off now. And I don't need to tell you what's coming next because you're going to go in with the corner rounder if you're me. Again, you don't have to round your corners, it's just a thing that I have. One day I'll do a video and I'll leave square corners. Maybe. So you just take your little strip and place it along the bottom, about a ½ inch from the bottom. And then I've just totally done off camera, but folded the strip around the back. And then I'm going in with my stapler. And that creates like a little band. And you can slip your photo or whatever just in behind there. So add a little bit of decoration to your photo. And all my staples for some reason just pinged out of the stapler there. Excuse me. It was scary. It wasn't really scary. I'm over dramatic. So I'm just putting that to a kind of slight tilt rather than straightening it up, because again I think that can add a little bit of interest. So there is that one, and you can slip your pocket and set your little photo in behind there. So one more type of journal card I like to do is a kind of flip one. This is great for a couple of different reasons. One, it can just add a little interactivity into your page, but also sometimes when you're doing memory keeping or journaling, you are tracking things that are painful or upsetting, and it might be something you don't want to read every day or see every day, but you still want to document it. So you can do this technique. It's like a lift the flap technique, and you can hide stuff. Again, it might not be for that reason. You might just want to do it just to be interactive. A little bit of fun. So I've just cut out a 6x4 mat out of the foiled cardstock, and then I've got a little scrap of the blue, which I think was about 2.5 by 3.5, and I've just rounded the bottom corners, and then I am taking a piece of washi. I'm having trouble deciding. So I picked the cream one with a little pattern on it, and that is going to just go across the top. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do the whole way across or not. I didn't. Just a small strip. Just try and position the washi about halfway across the top and trim the edges down. And then you're going to want to line the flap up with your base card, and then fold the washi over the top, and that creates just a little basic hinge. So you could put your photo on the mat and then flip that up, and you've got your little journal. So I'm just going to embellish it just a tiny little bit. I have added on a little strip of card, and then I decided that because I was talking about the painful memories and things like that, that I would also stamp a little sentiment on it, which is from the Better Together stamp set. You'll see that in a moment coming in. And it reads, may your sorrows be eased by wonderful memories. So I thought that was kind of appropriate for what I was talking about. So this is me just adding a little bit of the cream card just to pull it together. I really love the copper foil on these papers. The new catalogue has a whole suite called Foil Frenzy. I love foiled cardstocks that are gorgeous, and I think one of them has copper. me just pulling out the stamp set. I've only had this for about a week, couple of weeks now. It was actually a demonstrator gift, but you can buy it in the catalogue. Because I've not used it, they're not completely set up here. So I'm just going ahead and stamping this, I'm just kind of testing it out because it's the first time I've used it, stamping it in the Dapper Denim, which is a lovely blue colour, which I think will go nice with the blue foiled card. So first I trimmed it down and then I thought, no, I'm going to do it like a little bubble cut thing, so I just fussy cut around it instead.